And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Wings Week in Review. My name is Sean Cowgill, and I am a returning citizen. If you don't know what that is, watch our show every week. You'll find out. This is Ann Edenfeld-Sweet. She's the one who started all this 28 years ago.
28 years ago, yeah.
She's going to give you a little update about what's going on with Wings Week in Review and Wings for Life International, where your money goes, who works here, where everything that happens behind us. You find out right now.
Okay, Sean. Well, I don't know about everything, but first of all, we were going to talk a little bit about 2022 and what an exciting year 2022 was. Oh, my goodness. It started with getting legislative funding. We got from our New Mexico legislature, we got $1.222 million. Then we received, it's called junior funds. And that was the tune of $360,000. This is more than we've ever even had in a budget. So my gosh, this is just blowing us away. But we just, the last week in December, got the final signed contract with Bernalillo County. And now we, in fact, today I've been doing trainings again. We've been training for months, but training 8 communities across New Mexico to start our Wings for Life program. And of course, Wings for Life stands for life skills imparted to families through education. We are going to cut crime. We cut crime. We have a 4% recidivism rate in our program for 14 years. That means return to prison. The national recidivism rate for a 9-year study, federal Department of Justice study, 83% of people who get out of prison go back within 9 years. We have had a 4% recidivism rate. And I know a couple of those, they were just violated over silly little things and they went back to jail for a week. So people that come to our program, they want to make change. They do make change, and we keep them out and we turn them into very productive, very handsome. Look at this, returning citizens. People, because everybody has gifts, they have skills, people make mistakes, they get involved in addiction, they grow up in very unhealthy households, and we can help them make that change in their lives. And that's what we do. And so we've been doing that. Now we're going to be doing it across with funding and hiring 4 people in all of these 8 communities. So if you're listening from New Mexico, we will be in Farmington, Espanola, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, East Mountain, Cedar Crest, Los Lunas, Valencia County, Roswell. and Las Cruces. And so these are major cities. And actually for next year, I'm going to be asking for more money. Now that I'm learning how to ask for money, well, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it, right? And so Taos now wants to be in that mix too. And of course, then I put in money for us too for next year. So I'm very excited about this. And of course, then our Zoom programming has been picked up all over the world. And of course, Liberia. So Liberia, let me give you a heads up on what happened in 2022 in Liberia. Mary Briggs, one of our key volunteers, inherited our camera woman today, inherited $11,000. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of money. Well, $11,000 is a huge amount of money, but in Liberia it is huge. And so they've been able to take that $11,000 and they've got a 30-year rental on I'm finding out this place was falling over. Mm-hmm. I think it had a couple walls and that's about all it had. Right. But anyway, they tore the roof off, new roof. They've new plumbing, new wiring, they have a well now. This place never had a well. They had to walk. You think about Africa, walk 3-4 blocks to go get well water. Now they're going to have their own well. There will be electricity there. In fact, Mary and I and 2 others are going to Liberia March 7th, and we are going to be, Mary will be cutting the ribbon on the new building. We are going to sleep in this building because why are we going to spend money in hotels? There are 2 bathrooms there and with showers, and so we will be able to be accommodated very well. I've traveled the world, and these are new showers. I've been in places that we've had a hose. In Russia, I had to climb 14 flights of stairs to get to a hose of cold, freezing water and pour it over my head. So I'm happy that we're going to be in Liberia and we're going to have some showers. So anyway, but that has been a big, huge development in Liberia. And then our Zoom programming, our Facebook programming, and our YouTube programming has been picked up by prisons all over the country. We know that some federal prisons are using our materials. We have no idea because it's free. It's on the web. We are here to help people. Everything we do is free and we give it away. And so 2020 year was a fabulous year. Sean was new to us. Margie Hall gave us her 37-year wholesale craft business, very successful business. And she has given us the entire thing. She has trained returning citizens how to make and create all of these things with her kiln. And now we will, with our new building, we will be able to set up and then anybody can create and do anything they want to do. We've been given picture framing equipment that we will set up and have a picture framing shop. So we want to be cheaper than Hobby Lobby and of course better than Hobby Lobby, but we'll be training people so they can get jobs at very high quality art galleries around New Mexico. And so we will be doing that. Of course, our bike repair our new home will have places for that. Steve gave away at least 1,500 bikes last year through Wings. He's one of our key volunteers. And our goal for this year will be a new bike for any youth or child that attends any of our 9 programs, including ours, around the state. If they come 5 times to a program, they get a new bike. New to them. It's refurbished, of course.
They get a whole new network of people in their community. And
absolutely.
Wow, it's great.
And so 2022 has been a fabulous year. 2023 is going to be even better, I know. And we are starting on the 16th. I'm going to be doing our Communication 101, teaching about assets. So if you're joining us virtually, please come and listen to that one. This is teaching about developmental assets. These are things, guaranteed ways that will help cut at-risk behaviors. And it's critical for people. And who wants to go to prison? Let's teach people a different way. Who wants to be addicted? No one. Not anybody I've ever met wants that. And then we've got somebody, a specialist about tax tips and tax tips for all of us, and especially low-income people and why they should fill out taxes, because a lot of our folks, they say, oh, I don't need to fill out my taxes. Yes, you do.
Even if you don't make any money, you can still fill out your taxes.
Well, there are all kinds of benefits, especially if you have children. So she's going to talk about that. Then we've got a returning citizen talking about resources and strategies for coping with crisis. Renee spent, I think, over 20 years in prison. Then we've got a motivational speaker you can overcome. Oh my gosh, we just have so many exciting things coming up. And so 2023 is going to be a great year. And thank you for being with us. You'll see us every week, Wings Week in Review. We'll be talking about what we've done the past week and what we're going to do. And now we're really excited to have somebody from the city of Albuquerque here.
Speaking of giving back, community, helping others, so we have a special guest. I have clips and bloopers and things we did over the year. After we'll do that a little later on today in the show. But this is Pete Garcia, and Pete Garcia's very interesting life that you were living, Pete. We talked about, and he's with AmeriCorps, and we'll have the website and the phone, all that information later. You look underneath the videos. There'll be just right where it says, it'll say "Show More." You click that, and a whole thing opens up with all the services and phone numbers. We have a whole list of resources available in Albuquerque. Now we're going to add one more today, and you get to meet the guy behind the scenes. So here we go.
Hi, everybody. I am Pete Garcia. I was born and raised here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am what's called an AmeriCorps Vista. That's a volunteer in service to America. A lot of people may or may not know what that is, and I tell everyone that it's very closely related to the Peace Corps, and it's the domestic version of that. What we do is we fight poverty within our own community instead of the Peace Corps that goes to another country. And for me, it's really beneficial that since I was born and raised here, I'm able to help my community that I grew up with. And so even if you haven't had, if you've made mistakes, for me, the best thing is find opportunities. Opportunities are out there everywhere, and national service is a great way to get back into the community. And like for someone like myself, I don't have a college degree, but it's a place where I was able to get in and get my feet in the door and find those opportunities. And if it's something that you're not ready to take on as a 1 year commitment, what I'm doing right now is my service is in One Albuquerque Volunteers. And throughout the whole city, we partner with government places. Like within the city, there's places to volunteer all over the city. We also partner with different nonprofits so that if a city department is maybe not something that you want to volunteer with, we have places like Wings for Life that have partnered with us that we have the ability to give that option to volunteer for Wings for Life or different departments within the city. So get your feet in the door, find opportunities, and network. That's how you're going to find your path into what you really want to do. That's why I love it so much.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
I had a few questions.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have a drop-in center or anything that office people can come to? I'm more concerned about homeless people out there, but
So we go through email and online. And the great thing is there are different programs for so many things. And being the fact that I live in poverty so that I understand who I'm helping, there's programs where you can get a free phone. And
yeah, I
you know,
I did that in California.
yeah, when you
I
do
signed
that,
people up for that, right?
so then if I meet someone that's unhoused, I have the ability to, right here,
Oh,
I can just connect this to their phone.
really?
And yeah, it'll give them all of our resources of
Oh,
where to find
resource
volunteer
list.
opportunities.
Okay.
So, we have made it to where it's accessible to anybody. Yeah.
All right. All right. As far as the phones go, the only place I know to send people now is Lomas in Central. There's a guy out there with a tech because I get calls from people.
Oh, yeah.
But there's online websites
Mhm.
where they can order it, but they need an address. But
Right.
it's really easy to do. It might take a week to get the phone.
Yeah.
So
Mine took,
maybe a little longer.
yeah, mine took about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, that's not
But,
bad.
for me, being able to be able to get into a program like that,
Yeah.
so then I can fully understand when I'm telling someone else how to get to that opportunity, I know what someone else needs to go through.
So Anne has she has a list of all the resources available in Albuquerque,
Mhm.
and it's 8 pages.
Mhm.
So I've been printing them up at home and going out. And whenever I'm at a red light and I see a homeless person, I
Right.
hand them that. Right, I keep them in my car all the time. I need to add you on. I'm not sure if you're on there. I don't think you are.
Okay,
So we'll
well-
add you on there. 'Cause that's my way of and almost every red light in town here, there's somebody standing.
Right.
So I give them these.
And
I need to ask Cam if I can print some up here because it's when you print them up at home, it's a little difficult.
yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I've been doing. Instead of
Mhm.
giving them money, I give them that.
Yeah.
Here's where you can go eat and stuff. Do you guys? Let's see. So do you accept homeless people to volunteer for you?
So yeah, you just need a background check for most of them,
Okay.
but there are opportunities that you don't need a background check.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. So I'm a felon, right?
Uh-huh.
I've got in federal prison, right?
Mhm.
Would you accept? I've been out 3 years, but I don't know. Do you accept felons at all as volunteers?
So I'm not exactly sure for that one. Like today, we were talking about an opportunity for one of the councils in the city, and that there's not a background check for that one for people that have experienced being on the other side of having had mistakes. So those opportunities are out there.
Because so one of the causes I fight for on
Mhm.
both the channels is, when you get out of prison, you're labeled and everybody they have an opinion of you before
Yeah.
you've even opened your mouth and who you are.
Yeah.
They already know who you are. You're labeled. And then when you tell me a background check, I want to volunteer, and you're still going to do a background check on me. That kind of almost makes me angry. And
So for the
but
most part,
I'm past all the anger, but I'm just trying to wonder.
it's for the vulnerable population.
Now, sex offenders, yeah, I could understand.
Yeah, that's
you don't
true.
want that. You don't
Yeah.
want that, right? But a lot of us have turned our lives around, and now we want to give back and volunteer.
Yeah.
And then we get a roadblock like that.
True.
You know, it's kind of tough to live with. So
Yeah.
I get emotional.
So, when you say that, that makes me want to be more aware of it, so that when I go back and I'm looking for opportunities, I have that in my mind to look for those different things. I like that.
Not everybody turns their life over that comes out of prison.
Mhm.
A lot just go right back, and they don't want to change. Maybe somebody, they will, but there's enough out there that want to make a difference and get back. And we learned our lesson. Believe it or not, nobody believes we learned our lesson. We know we did.
Yeah.
And we just want, give us a chance to get back.
For me, I think it's all about a lack of opportunity, and to be in a place where I can find those for other people is something that really I like.
So tell me, what's a typical day for you?
The typical day for me is connecting with community partners, to find community partners that the most common thing I hear is we need volunteers. We desperately need volunteers. Our website has over 20,000 volunteers that are interested in doing something.
Do you guys hit the streets, or is it all?
Oh yeah, all over the place. Like when I
maybe tell me a few stories. I think that's what I find interesting.
So
tell me some stories about when you hit the streets.
Like, let's see. We went to Carrie Tingley Hospital, and we recruited volunteers there. The most recent one was for the World Cup.
Okay.
We actually showed the World Cup games in Civic Plaza. So, and you have everyone from every walk of life that goes through Civic Plaza.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I've been there.
So we set up tables, had information about what we do.
Okay.
So we had people that were soccer fanatics.
Sure.
We had people that just like to hang out in Civic Plaza. It was the greatest place to have a whole dynamic of different people.
Yeah. Was it on a big white screen or something where everyone could see? Or?
You know where the concert is? The concert stage on Civic Plaza?
Kind of, but let's say it do.
Okay. It was on a huge screen, like you were going into like a drive-in theater.
Oh, nice.
It was
did
neat.
You draw a crowd that day then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
United was one of the sponsors, so they were there as well. So any kind of event where there's going to be people there, we'd like to be at.
Okay. So you keep mentioning you go to recruit volunteers, and
Mhm.
they go to recruit volunteers. So you get them all. Now what do you do? Let's say you got all the volunteers you need. Now what do you do?
So they become a 1 Albuquerque volunteer, and on the site we have hundreds and hundreds of different volunteer opportunities. So they can find something like animal welfare department where they can. Did you know that cat cuddling is an opportunity that you could do as a volunteer?
Cat cuddling.
Now I'm not a cat person.
I've had cats
You know?
before, and they'll climb on you and all that.
But
I think you're talking maybe a little different than that, or
so the animals in the shelter, they need attention.
oh, yeah, I feel so bad for those guys. Do you know? I'm asking you. I know in California they keep them for about 30 days and then they put them to sleep. How do they do it out here? Do you know?
I'm not sure. It's not one of my departments, but it's one of the more frequented because everyone likes animals.
Right.
So
because you got 30 days to, adopt that pet. Otherwise,
right.
they say put to sleep, but they kill them, and it's
Yeah.
just, breaks my heart.
Yeah.
They'll show them on TV, and if you don't come get this dog, by
Yeah.
Tuesday of next week, he's gone.
So there's adopting the pets. There's so many things in that department. We have Office of Equity Inclusion. We have APD. We have
Police department.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the one that I was looking over today was actually the Community Council, and I believe that's the one that doesn't require a background check.
What are they about?
So they're like the advisors in between the public and APD.
Oh, so we can advise. That's great.
Yeah,
You don't need
so
a background check for that.
to get your voice out there.
Okay.
And then
see now there, we've got now you're up.
exactly.
because I'm kind of doing that on the YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, sure.
And then all the museums. Have you ever been to a museum and someone's been a tour guide and shown you around?
Yeah, sure.
Those are all volunteers.
Oh.
And those are called docents.
And I've been to some museums, and the person that's showing us around, I mean, their heart's into it. They've researched this, and they wanted that job.
They've lived that life.
Yeah, and they can really give you some good information.
Yeah. And so eventually, I've done a docent training. When I have the time, I'll probably become a docent myself. My family goes back in Albuquerque for generations.
Wow.
I know a lot of the history here. It's something that I love this city.
Let me ask you a few questions. I don't know much. I've only been here a year. So how long has New Mexico been a state? You know?
Oh, geez. 1812? I thought it was.
Do you know what number of state it was? Because let's say you got the 13 colonies, and then little by little we got 50 states. Where along does New Mexico fit in on that timeline? Do you know?
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yeah.
How about Albuquerque?
I didn't know this was going to be a pop
I
quiz.
know. These are just curious questions I have.
Yeah.
Like Albuquerque. How about the beginnings of Albuquerque? The Rio Grande is kind of dry right now. At one time, was it flowing, or is that what made people come here?
The
railroad.
railroad.
It's a desert. So the railroad? Okay.
The railroad is something very near and dear to our family. That's why they came here.
Okay.
They actually wanted the railroad to be in different locations in the city. So that whole backstory of where it was going to be, where they wanted it to be, and where it ended up is a whole fascinating story.
Oh, the whole building of the railroad is. I mean, that was like before it was all done by horse carriages or stagecoaches to travel to the west. When they built that railroad, that just changed. That was technology. You could travel to San Francisco from New York in maybe 3 or 4 days, where it took 6 months before. Right? It's amazing that the railroad did.
So my family worked on the railroad. So growing up, I got to hear my great grandmother talk about she was able to go on the railroad for free all over the country because her husband worked on the railroad.
Okay, nice.
Those kind of things, like those stories are amazing.
Is the railroad still used today in Albuquerque?
Yeah, so there's still a railroad, and we also have the rail runner that goes to Santa Fe and I believe down to Las Lunas.
Okay.
It's more of like a commuter. I used it as a little vacation, just short little experience.
Well, Ann and Mary over here, they go to Santa Fe now and then, and sometimes they have to go more frequently. Did you guys ever take that the railroad?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a lot better than driving on the freeway? Easier or more convenient, or how did you find that?
You don't have to watch the road for one
That's
thing.
nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like I could write a book on there because you're just looking out at the landscape, and if you know of Georgie O'Keeffe.
No, I don't. Fill me in.
She's a painter.
Okay.
And up north near Ghost Ranch, it's a beautiful area.
Ghost Ranch?
Yeah.
That's another one. Tell me more.
You gotta look it up.
Okay.
Because all over New Mexico, there's so many beautiful places to see.
What's your favorite? Favorites, maybe.
Favorites is Ruidoso.
Can you tell me about that one?
It's a mountainous area that is a small area that has lakes. It has the evergreens. It's something that you would never expect in New Mexico.
Okay.
White Sands is a whole thing in itself.
Now, that one I've heard. That's one. That's on my list. Roswell's on my list. A few places, but
Alamogordo's 2 stones away, and it has pistachio farms.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
There's
Like pistachios.
there's a back way in between Alamogordo and Ruidoso that has like old bridges that the trains would go over.
Wow.
So you would see beautiful things all through the state. Taos is amazing. So when you guys partner with Taos for Wings for Life,
Okay.
that is an amazing area.
See, I have cameras, and I want to go out and do some live footage
Uh-huh.
and these beautiful places you're talking about. So,
And
yeah,
then
sure.
you cannot take away all the beautiful pueblos all over the state. The history, um, all the different cultures of the different indigenous people is a beautiful thing to see.
I've been told by an old friend of mine. He said, "You're now that you're living out in the desert." He said, "You should take one night and go just go camp overnight in the desert,
Mhm.
somewhere far, far away from civilization, where you can't see the light." And he said, "You're going to hear a sound there in the desert that is a sound you never heard of, and it's going to create its own music
Mhm.
from the insects and just the winds, and then you look up at the stars." And he says, "You will be just overtaken with that one night in the desert."
Yeah.
And I haven't done it yet, but have you ever experienced
So-
anything like that? I wouldn't know what part of the desert to go to, and but I want to try it.
So there's all different places. If you like lakes, if you like mountains, if there's all over the state, there's whatever you want to see geographically, you can find here. And I've traveled all over the country. I've been to so many big cities, and I had people tell me, as soon as you leave New Mexico, you're never going to want to come back. And one thing that
I still have laugh because I did the opposite, but
one thing that always rings true is a lot of people joke and call it, instead of the land of enchantment, they call it the land of entrapment.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because I love this city so much, and that's why when I got the opportunity for AmeriCorps, I was like, I've always wanted to do national service of some level, and it was the perfect opportunity to give back to the city that gave to me.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, January 6th, 1912, in the birth of 47th state.
January 6th, 1912, 47th straight state. Wow.
See, and
47. Okay.
So-
I would have guessed the 47th. I would thought a little more earlier, but see, that's good to know.
In my head, I was thinking it was the 48th.
And 1912. 1912,
Um,
so it's just, that's 110 years, 113 years.
Yeah,
That's not long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a new state,
Yeah.
relatively. Wow. Okay, so there's. Thanks, Mary. All right.
That's cool.
So that would be before Alaska, right? Alaska was the last one. That was 49th. And Hawaii was the 50th. You know why I know that?
Right.
Hawaii 5-0. That's why they called it Hawaii 5-0.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, it was the 50th state. They're working on Puerto Rico and Samoa and a
Right.
few other places. But,
I would love to see that.
and it's coming. I think they call them Commonwealth State or Commonwealth states right now, but they're not officially a state. But I know we could spend our money there. They can spend their money here. And they're a citizen. They don't have to have permission.
Mhm.
Samoa, Puerto Rico, there's a few others. And they can just come here and live, and they don't have to really do much. Other than, maybe just change their address.
Yeah,
But they're not officially a state yet. But New Mexico is, so that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
we cross our fingers for them.
Yeah. How about restaurants in Albuquerque? Let me ask you real quick. Mexican restaurants are everywhere. How about it? I want to hear your favorite restaurants, but then if you know of any good Italian ones, if there are any.
Oh, there are. So for
And Chinese too. I want to know.
Albuquerque, you have to go to El Modelo, but they don't have indoor dining.
No? Okay.
It is the neatest place to go get a stuffed sopapilla.
I don't know what to tell me with that. I don't
Do you know what a sopapilla is?
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's like fried bread.
Oh, okay.
So-
I've heard it called something else. That was an
so-
Indian name for it, I think.
Yes. So there's Navajo tacos and Indian tacos. They're similar but different. And then there's sopapillas, which is very closely related to those, but there are differences. I'm sorry?
The puffy.
Yeah, the sopapilla is kind of a puff pastry,
Okay.
and you can stuff food in it, or have it by itself as bread and put honey on it.
Honey.
Both are very good options. And then we have Varela's Coffee House.
So
No.
the village
Yes.
coffee house.
So
I can't do that with my tongue, but say it again.
So a lot of people will call it Barellas.
Oh, Barellas, okay.
So a lot of people will say it their own way,
Sure.
depending on your accent, your dialect,
Okay.
your inflections. Everyone, whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
it's a great place to start.
Since I come from San Francisco, we've got thousands of restaurants, every culture you can think of. And we have a large Mexican culture over there.
Mhm.
But that Mexican food that I'm used to, Cal-Mex, or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, it's different here.
Very different. There's
The tacos are different, and it's similarities, but I learned it's the Mexican food I grew up on. Nothing that's not close, and the red and the greens. Oh, that stuff's so hot for me. You guys are it's candy, you guys, right?
right, because we put green chili on everything.
Yeah. Well, you can chili in California, but it's not like
It's not.
nothing.
No.
And
Yeah,
we do a lot of jalapenos in the food over there, but here jalapenos just kind of
we don't. We push
that's nice you exist.
Yeah. So you can even go to D.H. Las Combras restaurant and get green chili Alfredo pasta.
Really? Oh, nice. Oh,
So,
good. They kind of mix here. Yeah. Okay.
Even with your pasta, you can throw in the green chili.
That actually sounds good.
It is.
Because I've worked in restaurants before. I went to prison and all that. I've been a chef and all that. But I have a whole lot to learn here about the style of food. I made tacos for some friends there, but I did it California style. They liked them, but like I took my shells in the pan and I kind of firmed so a little bit crispy, a little bit soft, not all the way down. And I did this Parmesan cheese on the outside of the shell, and that was a Mexican thing here. They had never tried that. They liked it, but just different style.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything like that here.
Yeah, every culture has its different quirks.
Yeah.
I love that.
And Chinese food, I don't. There's hardly any Chinese restaurants out there.
Yeah,
Panda Express, I go to. I can count on them. But where I grew up, it was a half Chinese neighborhood. So.
Oh, really?
So I know. You get Chinese places here.
You know what? I do the Chinese buffets.
Okay.
I really enjoy. They're everywhere. The one that I was going to go to for Christmas was Hong Kong.
Okay.
It's over there on the west side.
All right.
That's
a whole nother province of China, and that they just got their independence. Well, they're working on that. China doesn't want to quite give them up, but anyway. But that's a whole another cuisine.
Yeah.
So in San Francisco, there's four main ones: Hunan, Sichuan, Peking, and Mandarin. I'm hearing people that just spoke a foreign language to you, right?
Right.
And it's like the different provinces of Mexico, that they have their own. So I'm really growing up with a lot of Chinese friends, so I know I like Mandarin. I don't like Peking. Sichuan's okay. And, you guys have no clue what I'm talking about, right?
So for me, I am so New Mexican that I know all of our New Mexican food.
Right.
And whenever I try to venture out of that, I go with people that know about it, and I tell them, whatever you would have, I'll have as well.
There you go. Yeah.
So that I get the different experiences.
Right.
And I always tell people I'd be the best person on those TV shows like that test you on, eat this crazy thing or try this crazy thing. Because if you tell me to try something, I am totally willing.
Even though it's made with snake and frog and turtles or something.
Do it.
Okay.
You only live once, and you might as well experience it.
Why not try it? Yeah, I'd say try to experience every possible chance you have in life to try everything that you can in life. Yeah. Because guess what? You don't get another chance.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the next life, but not here.
Maybe.
Let's see.
I like Eat First Chinese.
Eat First Chinese. Okay.
That's in by the university.
No, that's over on the east side.
On the east side.
By the I-40 and Coors.
Oh, in that new shopping area.
Well, it's fairly new, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm half Italian, and there's a place called Little Italy in San Francisco, big Italian area. There's nothing like that here. I'm kind of alone out here. I haven't found a good pizza place even out here. You say it's good pizza. I've tried it. You don't know, but
have a gourmet pizza at Dion's.
I can't remember tried that one.
They call it gourmet, but it's a smaller, thin crust. It's closely related to like East Coast thin crust.
Okay.
And
And I'm half Irish, and there's not a lot of Irish out here, is there?
now the Irish.
A lot of Irish built the railroad
yeah.
back in the day, but
So-
they've kind of died off, I think.
Yeah, I do have a little Irish in my family.
Yeah.
I have Italian as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I call myself a biscochito because I'm kind of a mix of everything,
Sure.
and I make biscochitos.
Okay. Let me ask you another thing. So the war zone, you guys, that it's a bad neighborhood, and I kind of my heart's going out to those people. Right now. One of my things is to maybe change the world in just a small way if I possibly can. So that's why I hand out those sheets of all the resources. But do you guys have anything you guys do to help out people that are homeless in New Mexico?
Yeah, we have. We just started the first time this year warming stations. We're starting one at one of the community centers.
So warming station. So because I know it's cold out. I've driven by and I see them on a bus stop, and, and it's 12 degrees or something, and they got a blanket maybe.
Yeah.
I'm cold with my jacket. How are they living? How do they make it through the night? So these warming stations, they can stay overnight there, or how does it
So
work?
those are during the day.
Okay. Well, it's cold in the day too.
Yeah. So we have shelters, and
they're not going to the shelters.
but there's some great ones out there.
Okay.
Like Heading Home. Heading Home is a wonderful organization that has indoor facilities, and they also have a new thing where they're allowing people to be on property in their vehicle if they don't feel comfortable going into the shelter.
That's another type. There's the working homeless that nobody really talks about.
I think that's brilliant, because if you are the kind of person that wants your privacy, your own space, and you need to find somewhere to park,
Right.
and you don't want to just park anywhere.
Sure,
I think so. I'm not affiliated with Heading Home, and so I might not be saying it absolutely correct because I'm not a spokesperson.
Do you know if they have a bathroom available for people there?
I'm not sure. I haven't been to their site.
That's a big one. If you're in your car.
Yeah. So I'm assuming since they have the indoor facility, I'm not sure their logistics, but I've heard of their parking availability. And for me, I think that option is so needed for people with different abilities, people with different preferences, allergies.
So I've been homeless before. That's why I know what it's like. I wasn't homeless that long because I went to a shelter. I got a job at Jack in the Box. I worked my way out.
Nice.
A lot of people don't want to go for that. The shelters, they stole my shoes off me while I was sleeping. It was that bad. And I found a place that gave me some shoes the next day, but it's tough in the shelters, and you can't bring all your things, your possessions. And a lot of them have dogs, and they're not allowed. And some of them are couples out there, and they have to be separated. There's a lot of reasons why people don't go to the shelter. And I know it's just they're not shelters aren't going to. They can't just let anybody come in and bring all the drugs and drinks and make a party place. That's what they want, and a shelter. That's never going to happen.
Right.
You reach these people one at a time, convince them that you're dying out here, you live here. That's the big crossover. But
it's the one thing that I always loop back to is I don't know if everyone knows all the opportunities that they have out there, and for me, that's why I love doing what I do, so that I can find those opportunities for people and connect them to it. Because before I applied for this position for my service, because we don't call it a job, because we're in service to America. There's a very big distinction there. I didn't know this was even a thing, and I never thought that all the experiences I've had would bring back everything into one place. And so for me, it's really fulfilling.
Do you have any answers for anything going on in the crime, the poverty? Do you have any answers? Solutions?
For me, the opportunities.
Such as?
Volunteering, just to get your network started. and then once you're ready, I think everyone, like, I would recommend.
So you recommend homeless people volunteer? No, my thing is that a lot of them have criminal backgrounds and not going to pass. So
to find the places that don't require it.
okay.
You know what? I really think, like, even in my situation of the low wage I'm getting, yeah, volunteering, I am out there all the time at so many different places. If you could dedicate just a small amount of time, your opportunities grow.
There are homeless who do volunteer. They'll go to a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
And then they'll find out if they volunteer for the soup kitchen.
Mhm.
They get to eat all they want, but their network opens up.
Exactly.
And I've seen those people actually grow. They network and they get offered a job, a place to live, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a lot of homeless that want to volunteer. They want to take care.
Right.
There's entitlement issues that they deal with. They feel they're entitled. Society's done them wrong, and that's one of the challenges you got to work on too.
Yeah.
When you have to, do you talk to them?
Oh yeah, because in places like in Chicago, in Charlottesville, since where I was working at that time was out in the public. I was with a sports company, and wherever I am, I'll talk to anybody. How do you function? What are the logistics? The people in Chicago told me that they would sleep back to back, and one person would sleep, and the other person would stay awake.
The watchman.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so that if you freeze or your breathing is slowing down,
Right.
the other person wakes you up.
Okay.
I have found such a community in the homeless community that I think is beautiful because people look after each other.
They do out there. I know. When I was out there, yeah.
So
and you've almost got to prove yourself out there. They'll let you in, and there's a bonding that they do.
Yeah.
Thieves among thieves kind of thing. But it works for them. And
yeah, like I saw in Charlottesville. I was talking to a group of people, and they said, "Did you see that person over there? We don't know him, so be careful."
Right.
And that group was taking care of me. It was a beautiful thing. So
sure,
yeah.
In San Francisco, the homeless problem's really bad, and the crime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people, here I'm starting to see people break into cars. I've seen people walking down the street checking the door handles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it started in San Francisco, but it got so bad. Everybody knew don't keep anything valuable in your car or they'll break in. But they know there's a latch that opens the trunk. So now in San Francisco, they'll just bust the windows and they use. A girl showed me once on your spark plugs in your car that's made of porcelain, and they take the little wire tip off. But that porcelain, you just tap the window, the whole thing shatters. A woman of 80 pounds can do it. It doesn't take much.
Wow.
And it shatters, right? And she showed me this once. And then they go in and they pop the trunk and they look. It's so bad that your insurance deductible doesn't cover broken windows. It's so bad that they're breaking so many windows, and that happened to me 3 times in my car, and I had to replace it. You'll drive down in many streets, all the windows are down on the car. Some even leave the trunk open because they'd rather have you steal the car because the insurance will cover all that, but it won't cover the broken windows.
Right.
They don't have $800 and $600 to fix the window. Every other month that gets broken into. It's that bad out there. I hope that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
I already seen certain break windows when they see something in the car and check the door handles, and that's how it started there. So I just let you guys know.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah. Any solutions for the crime out here? It's pretty bad out here though too. I mean, the crime is. I'm on that next door app, and they record everything, and I read it every couple of times a week, and I'm just seeing the crime exploding out here.
Yeah.
People coming to my door in the middle of the night, someone looking through my window trying to open it, and I was sleeping, and I just hear it's getting bad.
Yeah.
So what do we do? How can we help?
That's a good one. Building your network, and because do you know your neighbors?
Yeah, I actually do. And
So-
I didn't talk to him for 6 months, but now I have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing, and because there's so many different facets to that ball that have to come together.
Yeah.
You know, we've had no city is perfect, but historically, there's been instances where things didn't get reported, and
Yeah, it's
you know, in bad areas, if you know the culture of the bad areas, people didn't report it.
I don't live in the best
Um,
neighborhood. I'm just outside of Nob Hill, but it's
Uh-huh.
kind of near Central Street.
Yeah.
But I have a balcony, and one morning I was sitting there, and some of the neighbors downstairs have bikes. And they usually lock them up,
Mhm.
but there was a bike that had a flat tire, and he had the tire, so it was flat. He didn't lock it. The guy comes along, and I see him pick up the bike and then try to ride it, and I'm watching him, and I go, "That's not the guy who owns the bike." I yelled at him, "Hey, that's not your bike." "It was my bike. That's why it has a flat." I go, "No, that's not your bike. You better leave it there and call the cops." Right?
Yeah.
He left it and he walked off. And then I went and told the neighbor. He thanked me, because if I wasn't looking at that, he was going to take that guy's bike. And he goes, "Oh yeah, it had a flat tire." And I usually lock it, but it had a flat tire for some reason. So if more people did that,
Yeah, you were being an ambassador.
yeah, and
No.
I don't see a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
Here,
That's a great thing. So we had more people like that.
Yeah. Sometimes
To
you
look
just
out
gotta
for each
speak
other.
up, yeah. And like being in prison,
Mhm.
like I'll call the cops and that's they don't do that, but
Mhm.
I mean you're still on the bike and I'm on the balcony. I can't stop you.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved anyways, like physically with you, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just threaten that to somebody and they'll stop the crime. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got to be done. You got to,
Yeah.
if you want to be part of the world today and a productive citizen, sometimes you help the others
Yeah.
and get involved. A lot of people just want to.
Stand
Walk
by and
right
let
by
someone
it,
else and let someone else do it.
I walked by and somebody looked like they're laying down on the sidewalk. They're all almost, it could be dead, and
Mhm.
everybody's mad because that's an eyesore. I have to step over the body. Really? That it's come to that?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a
Where's
time
the
when
humanity
if
in
somebody
that?
was laying on the ground 50 years ago. Everybody would help that person. I
Yeah.
think that the world was kind of like that.
Yeah.
So what happened to us? Why is it an eyesore now to see a body laying in front of you?
Yeah.
Take a look at yourself. Why are you looking at the body like an eyesore and not a human life that needs your help? So
One thing I like when people say is when you see something, do something.
do something, right?
Yeah. And
call somebody who will,
yeah,
right? You could at least do that.
like we just opened a new department in the city called Albuquerque Community Safety,
Okay.
and they are somewhere in between a different branch of first responders.
Sure.
And I think what their mission and goal is somewhere like if you see something like that, call 311 and
311.
they're that connection.
Sure. Okay.
And so that it's a different avenue instead of if it's not an emergency and not threatening, there's different routes that can be taken.
Most people, yeah, I know. Most people say, "Oh, he just got drunk or he's on drugs. Who cares?" And they keep. Well, obviously you don't care because you keep walking, but
Right.
you got to start caring.
Yeah.
Really, I feel.
Yeah. And then there's also the Gateway Center that's opening.
We were gonna we were gonna try to get our building over there.
Oh, really?
In that, but it's we can't do it now. But I've heard good things about it. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's starting to come together over there, right? It's only women right now that they allow. I think for now.
I believe they're opening in April, and I believe that they were doing. I think there was an aspect of a warming station there as well.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
And I believe they're set to open in April, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well,
But
so these are good things happening.
all those things are very good to know. And there's also Housing Forward.
Housing Forward.
Uh-huh.
I don't know one. Tell
No.
me about this one.
Housing
Sounds
Forward
interesting.
is a really neat thing. If if it comes to be, I think it'll be a really amazing thing. It's converting unused corporate offices, different motels into housing.
I like it. I
So
like it.
there's
Okay.
there's different brackets of cost. There's different sizes. They're going over all the logistics right now, and
Because there's
it's
buildings sitting there for years, nothing's been done with it. And people, well, let me sleep there, right?
right.
They're finally gonna.
So those are one of the things that's going over right now, and I'm very interested in it, and happy to see what comes of it.
Yeah, sure, sounds good. How about some words of wisdom for people out there? Anything that you want to maybe tell anybody that's watched the show this far along? They're interested. They have their attention. So why don't you speak to them?
Yeah, I think like if you want a little more than volunteering, just on a small level, try national service, because it is something that will take you to where you want to be, and will open doors. And knowledge is power. When you get to network with other organizations, I never thought that I would be here with you. You know, for me to have the opportunity to be here with you guys today is something that I'll take with me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we've wow, it's 4:00. It's been an hour. Wow, we've been really on one. So we've just had a few people in there. I haven't had any questions or comments.
No questions?
And I usually get them, but it might be that time of the day. Oh, we just lost our picture. Mary, it's not your fault. Let's see.
No.
They can hear us though. So we just lost the picture. I wonder why. Something happened. Let me see here. Oh, I was going to show some bloopers here, but let me see. Oh, there we go. That'll do it. Yeah, right back on. No, we're not. Well, we're on here. So, yeah, I am having a problem with technical difficulties. Well, our hour's kind of up. Anyways, I was going to show videos and bloopers. You know what I'm going to do, guys? A little later tonight or something, I'll make a special edition and I'll run the bloopers, or I'll come in and we'll do it Monday or something. We'll get another one on, because you've been a great guest. We've talked about a lot, and I appreciate everything you've done. So let me shake your hand.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you bet, yeah. And I know, so Nick sent you over here,
Right.
and he sent me an email about you and a whole lot of other people. So, you know, if you know those other ones on the email, let them know how it went today, if you enjoyed this or not. I hope you did.
I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm usually a little sarcastic, but my whole family is sarcastic.
I love that. I
so-
like sarcasm.
You know, usually I say, no, I didn't like being here. And I freak people out, and I tell them, I'm just kidding. I loved it.
I didn't mean to quiz you on the, you know, the state history and all that.
Right.
I was being towards sometimes it wasn't the test.
I would say my my knowledge is all quirky.
Yeah.
Did you know the LA Dodgers used to practice here?
No, see, I didn't
See?
know.
Oh,
I like that stuff. Well, yeah, tell me, you have some more of those?
Yeah, like by the zoo. That's where the stadium. There was a stadium there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, my great grandparents were one of the first people to have a vehicle in the city here. Things like that. Old Town. If you go through there, there's so much to do there. Have you
I
been
just went
through?
on our way to when we went for
yeah.
Hotel Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just on the way there, I didn't really stop and look, but it seemed interesting. Yeah.
One place you got to stop by is the Candy Lady.
The Candy Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about her.
So she's that place is something near and dear to me. My mother worked there in high school, and I worked there in high school.
Oh, all right.
That shop is a candy lover's
taffy, chocolate,
everything.
Okay. Wow.
They even have something called peanut butter crunch.
Oh.
It's something in between and a Butterfinger.
Oh,
It's actually
I want to try that.
And the mistake turned out to be wonderful.
You know, throughout history, I'm always a history buff. A lot of mistakes have turned out.
The mistakes?
Exactly. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Aspirin, I think, was a mistake because it's made from a willow tree.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to do something else with it. But a lot of things in history, inventions were mistakes, yeah. So, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's kind of as for immediately, and unless you want to keep going, if there's more you want to talk about, that was a chance.
I think I'm good.
We're good? Okay.
To get the different ideas, options out there, I think is a beautiful thing.
Okay. Thank you again, Pete. And we will be putting all the information underneath this video. So if you're watching in the future, it's already there. Just click underneath. It says show more. Click the button. A big menu opens up, and you'll find all kinds of resources. Everything scrolling across the screen is the number for Wings for Life, the website. It's all on there. And also we have AmeriCorps One Albuquerque Volunteers. So you can find it that way if you don't want to look underneath the screen. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week, 3 o'clock Friday on Wings Week in Review.